And I'll have you call the ladies up and give them their awards. Okay?
Isabella Steph. Donna Steph. Aria Cohen. Reagan Kearns. Damien Collado.
So we do have one young lady who's not here today, Sierra Smith. I will give it to them and they can give it to her. But again, it's about recognizing our youth and let them know that we see them and we see the good they do as they progress in life. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations.
More? I'm sorry. It's always my pleasure to recognize small businesses in the town as they're the backbone of this community. And for over 40 years, this business has been operating here in the town of Walk Hill, serving pizza, Italian food, I'm pretty sure I heard good Zeppelis. So looking forward to some Zeppelis. Did you bring some tonight?
Not tonight.
Okay. So on behalf of the town board and myself, we want to extend a heartfelt congratulations to Alfonso Pizzeria on 211. So a remarkable achievement of 40 years of business. Check that out.
Thank you. Thank you.
I grew up with Alfonso. I told him everything he knows about pizza.
I got some good stories. He threw me outside. Great stories. I'd like to thank the town board for recognizing us. It's a true family endeavor. Excuse me, I get a little emotional sometimes and long-winded, but so it's a true family endeavor. My wife has been by my side since the moment I met her, and she's amazing. She really is. My son, who's here tonight, he works in the city, but he comes up and lends a helping hand. My other two children are on here tonight. One's finishing her degree, her master's degree, and my other son is expecting twins, so he's got to stay close to home for the next couple of days. But we opened the place in 1985. My dad and my mom were there by my side, lending a helping hand. And my dad used to love sitting around, greeting people and telling stories. It was amazing. We missed it, but. And thanks to the residents who patronized us over the years, you know, we're definitely not there without all the good clientele and great people. This area is great. It served me well all these years, and I thank everyone for, it's a labor of love. We do fresh food, make everything fresh. We're small, like you said, small businesses are the heart and soul, always patronized. I mean, there's room for the other big businesses, but the heart and soul is generally small businesses, always consider their hard work and, it's a labor of love. So I'd like to thank everyone. Thank you. Give somebody your phone. Brian, you'll say.
His favorite cousin says, try the Italianites.
Yes.
I married Fran's cousin, Anton. Oh, and my sister here. She was here in the beginning too. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey, buddy.
Thanks.
Honor to have you here. Thank you. Let's share, seeing you. I know it.
I know.
Good evening, everyone. How are we doing today? So today I'm going to present the 26 budget, supervisor's budget. So the budget that was presented on September 30th is how it would affect the tax rates. My budget right now is approximately $1,300 under the tax cap. This will result in an increase of about $16 to $25 a year. As you can see here, the budget, 2%. Next, here we have, thanks to the great job of the assessors department, you can see that our assessed values of properties over the last 10 years has increased. We have projects that have been completed halfway through the year, and we have some that are coming. Here we have Ready Coffee on 211. It'll be ready in 2026 and be on the road. East Side Residence, the buildings behind 211, they have some buildings open. They'll have hopefully all of them open for 2026. And Candlewood Suites Hotel, they open mid-year for 2026. They'll be on the tax roll year round. Plus, they will also help with our hotel tax revenue. And the Dunkin' Donuts on East Main Street. Again, open mid-25, will be here, complete 26. iCryo, which is a wellness and recovery center, which is located across from Aspire Brewery off North Galleria Drive. Starbucks on Crystal Run, again, came in mid-year, and also Stewart's on Crystal Run also came in. And we got a boutique hotel which should be opening at the beginning of 2026. And of course, what everyone's been looking forward to, Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A will be opening in 2026 at the Boston Market. That's where they're going to be at. And of course, down the street from here, we have Tower Ridge Apartments. They'll be opening a new building. The water and sewer rate. We're increasing the water and sewer rate by 5 cents per 1,000 gallons. So it's been said that if we increase our water and sewer rate for the next 10 years, a nickel will still be less expensive than our neighbor next door at their rate today. So when we do a lot of projects in the town, a lot of upgrades, we have a lot of infrastructure. Working with our New York State representatives, the great partnership that we have with them and with our Orange County representatives. Lucky for us, we have Michelle Baker, who has done a great job of writing and administrating all these grants. So you can see the grants, it's over $25 million in grants that we have received. And these grants help us upgrade our infrastructure. For example, upgrade to water and sewer plant. The Braeside well field project has been completed. In years past, we were sending letters out because of the chemicals in the water that got fixed. Water department did a great job, fixed it. You don't get those letters anymore. The upgrade to this well field is gonna help us with that removal. Right down the street, Tower Drive, we have a tank. It's being rehabbed right now. This should be completed at the end of the year. We also got some grants for the community center to redo the floor. You can see there's a lot of grants there that we have received from our partners in the state and Orange County. We also got some money from the Orange County to keep open space, and we use this to purchase some property along the Kill. Here's a picture of the UTV for the Office of Emergency Management. So one of the reasons it was great to have this is that we have a lot of rural areas. And if someone is lost or someone's out there and get injured, just recently we had an incident where we had to utilize it, plus we also bring it to our events. We have our own town of Walk Hill. We won't have to wait for the fire department to come and bring theirs. We have ours here and it belongs to the town. And thanks to the generosity of New York State, we got it. Circleville Milk Trail, walking trail. This came with a grant. And why the milk trail? So Councilman Coyne did a poll on social media, and this is the name they came with. And it won the milk trail. Why the milk trail? Well, back from my being told, back in the day, there used to be a railroad track, and the trains used to come and bring the milk to the creamery that was there. That's why you have Creamery Road there for the ice cream. So in the future, we're gonna have a sign right in front of it called Circleville Milk Trail. So investment into the future, what are we doing? Infrastructure upgrades, we have to do that. Public safety, we have to make sure that our residents, our town are safe. Last January, the town was named the safest town in the country, thanks to the police department. And it's important for us as town officials, we provide the tools that they need to do the job. So they have this virtual reality training, which I'll show you a picture of in a minute. They got drones. Again, the drones, another tool that we have to provide to our law enforcement so that they can do their job. I believe we used it recently to locate a young boy who was in the woods, and we found him. We also put him up when we have events, make sure everyone is safe. We also have to invest in the youth and senior programming in the town. Paving is very important. We've done a lot of paving over the last couple of years. This past year, we invested in a new program called PMG. We have many roads in the town, and it's important to maintain them as best as possible, especially after we put a lot of money and we pave them. This software is going to allow us to see our roads, see which one needs work, the condition of the road. And it also will let us go back when we pave something, we tell us where we at and we could just maintain it. It is a great program. The objective is to eventually put it out on our website so people can see where their roads are at. Our parks, we got to improve our parks, continue. Another thing we did in infrastructure here in this building, we replaced the roof on building A, building B, down where the police and the courts are. And recently, I don't know if you noticed, we redid the sidewalk and the wall here in the town. Free little library. Anyone that comes to town, we have this free little library where you can get a book. We have one in the back, one in the front. It is, when I come out of my office and I see whether it's adults or kids, successful. A special thanks to Susan Doyle, who put this program together. And I increased the budget because I see something that's good for our residents, anyone who comes in here. Dollar bus, we always talk about transportation, getting our residents to where they gotta go. So the dollar bus, it's a good program we have. And next year, we're gonna get 2 new buses and we're looking to add a new route. I keep talking about our youth. We have to invest in our youth. You know, working with this Pine Bush School District, we still have a full-time SRO at the elementary school. That is something new that we started last year and we're gonna continue. And then the police youth coalition. They do great programming for our youth. We have to keep doing that. Junior Police Academy, we started it 3 years ago. It has expanded. Great job. Great job to the police department, also Roberto, who has done a great job with that program. Going back to the virtual reality training that we have here. Here you see, this is myself with Sergeant Warner doing the training. I believe we are the only one in Orange County that has this program, this system. And they are trying, other municipalities, other PDs wanna do it. We have opened it to the community. If you wanna do it, you have to contact the PD through the chief's department and they'll let you go through it. Again, it's about providing the tools for our police officers, so when they're on the streets and they're responding to calls, they have an idea what they have to do to respond. It's a great, great tool to have. The drone. This is, I believe, Night Out Against Crime. Look at that view. These drones are good. Clean streets. So it's always been that people always said our roads are dirty. Our roads are dirty. We don't have sanitation. So in 23, we started a pilot program called Clean Streets. It was successful. We hired 2 individuals to work part-time, and they did a great job. They're seasonal, and this year alone, since March of 31st, they have collected over 500 bags of garbage doing our roads. Now, wow, that's great. It's a lot. It is, but it's also bad because that means people are just throwing their garbage out instead of going to a garbage can. But we're going to make it permanent going forward because it's working. So the impact of this budget: police department fully funded, highway infrastructure maintained, West water and sewer service stable, continue our parks and rec programming, and our town facilities continue ongoing improvement. Community. We have a diverse community. Therefore, it's important to have these events in the community to showcase our diversity. Whether it's St. Patrick's Day, Juneteenth, July 4th celebration, Community Day, Easter egg hunt, Kwanzaa, menorah lighting, that's just to name a few. We have to have these programs because our community is diverse. What would it cost? Well, depending on the type of property you own, the increase would be $16 to $25 per year. Budget under the cap, $1,300. Financial fiscal overview of the town of this budget. Under the cap, no reduction in service, balance, and we're going to be responsible in spending and focus on community priorities. We address the residents' concerns and public safety. In closing, Wallkill is strong, growing, financially stable, with service focus, conscious of the taxpayer, and getting ready for the future. With that, I want to say thank you to the town board, the department heads, and the accounting department who assisted in getting this budget together. Thank you. We're investing back in Wallkill community.
Might turn this around.
Yes.
Thanks, Rob.
Will, can you pass that water, please? The what? The water.
Want to just drop?
Yes. Thank you. Hey, man, plug.
Notice is hereby given that the preliminary budget of the town of Walker for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2026 has been completed and filed in the office of the town clerk at 99 Taylor Drive, Middletown, New York. 10941, where is available for inspection. Please take further notice that the preliminary budget contains the following proposed salaries for elected officials. Supervisor, $122,706.22. Town clerk, $77,176.28. Town justice, $52,605.29. Receiver of taxes, $31,935.15. Counseling, $19,635.63. Please take further notice that a public hearing be held by the town board of the town of Walker on October 23rd, 2025 at 7:25 p.m. at Walker Town Hall regarding the review and consideration of the preliminary budget for the fiscal year 26. Any resident of the town of Walker is entitled to be heard concerning the preliminary budget at such public hearing. Copies of the preliminary budget are available for review at Walker Town Hall, 99 Taylor Drive, Building A. The town of Walker will make every effort to ensure the hearing is accessible to persons with disabilities. Anyone requiring special assistance and or reasonable accommodation should contact the town clerk. By order of the town board of the town of Walker, Louis and Rassy, town clerk.
And the public hearing notice was posted and published in accordance with law. Thank you.
Will, you wanna talk about the card?
You want to do that now?
Yeah.
Also, for those of you who were questioning why you may have received a postcard notifying you that there's a public hearing tonight also about the town's benefit assessment role, that's because for starting in the year 2026, we have established a townwide ambulance district. And because it's a special district, that's part of the benefit assessment role. And part of it's going to be something that you will see as a line on your tax bill. And so even if you don't live in a lighting district or a water district or a sewer district, everyone in the town who owns property will be in the ambulance district. So that's the reason that cards have come to your house, maybe when they haven't in the past. Thank you.
Public hearing is not open. Please, anyone wish to step up, speak, 3 minutes, state your name
On the budget,
on the budget.
preliminary budget.
Oh, on the budget?
Yes, on the budget.
I have some other stuff to say later, but I just, not really, I don't know.
Has to be on the
Do
budget.
you want to hit that green button there? The light will come on.
Okay.
If you could just state your name, please, ma'am.
Teresa, pleasure. I'm just wondering if there's any town money or grants for any, like animal welfare issues. Particularly, maybe some TNR teams, trap neuter release teams, and a facility where these cats can recover. Before being released back into their colonies. This cat overpopulation is pretty horrible. I know you have the, certificates for the, the lower cost for terror, but it's still unmanageable because there's just no, sometimes they just can't be caught. You need people with experience to trap. And then a place for these cats to recover before they can get back into their colonies. So that's what I would like to see some tax dollars go.
Thank you. We'll take it into consideration. We do have a full-time ACO, animal control office, which we
Right.
had before.
But he doesn't do that. He doesn't trap. He doesn't do anything like that. He just drives around, because, I have other issues about something I was here last time about the cats, but it's not quite the budget thing, so I just figured.
It's a good suggestion.
Because this is just the budget, right?
Yes,
Okay.
Thank you.
thank you. Anyone? Anyone on Zoom?
Is the postcard part of the budget?
That'll be
There's gonna
next.
a separate public hearing for that on the postcard stuff, the benefit assessment role, after the budget public hearing this evening.
Anyone on Zoom?
Okay. Jim Moore, looking at the budget, I know we all mentioned about the different funds.
The mic on?
Can you hear me now?
They
Okay. Okay, looking at the budget, I notice we don't mention the different funds out there, you know, the highway fund, general fund, water, sewer and stuff. If we can get information on that for this year. Also, the budget always comes as a printed document, a PDF. Is there a way to get it in Excel that we can download? So we can actually look at the budget and compare it to prior year budget. Okay, that information is available, just not available to the public. Can that be done?
We'll make it available.
Okay, appreciate that. And then all your slides, you'll actually
That's
send to us.
available.
too.
Yes, that's all we have.
And then the budget, actually, this is the preliminary budget, right?
Correct.
It's gonna go through maybe some changes and stuff, and the final budget will be voted on about when?
It'll be before November 15th.
Before the 15th, then you'll have a notice out there then.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Jim,
you.
did you want it in a PDF? Is that what you said?
Oh, no, we have the PDF already,
Okay,
but it just has the one column of the
you
current.
want an Excel?
Last year, you actually had a printed out copy, had all the prior years, the actuals and proposed and stuff. And this way you can take it and actually look at it and compare it. Because I know she didn't mention it's 8.5% increase this year in revenue and also expenditures. Some things have gone up a bit, you know, Social Security, Medicare payments and stuff.
But the format that you.
But the format, this way you can take a look at it better.
Yep.
I noticed there was some issue with the NTA tax and Social Security from this year that had to get money put into 2024 stuff too.
Okay,
So hopefully all those things are taken care of.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone on Zoom? Anyone else in the audience? Motion to close the public hearing,
Second.
all in favor? Thank you. Next one, Madam Clerk?
Please take further notice that a public hearing will be held by the town of the town of Waltham on October 23rd, 2025 at 7:25 PM at Waltham Town Hall, 99 Taylor Drive, with respect to the proposed 2026 benefit assessment role for the special districts within the town. Any resident of the town of Waltham is entitled to be heard concerning the proposed rate increase at such public hearing. Copies of the benefit assessment role are available for review at Waltham Town Hall, 99 Taylor Drive, Building A. Town of Waltham will make every effort to ensure the hearing is accessible to persons with disabilities. Anyone requiring special assistance and or reasonable accommodations should contact the town clerk. By order of the town board of the town of Waltham, Louisa Grassi, town clerk.
Thank you.
And that notice was also posted and published, and this was the one where the postcards went around. I think there was a general.
Hi, good evening. My name is Rick Brown. I live at 49 Furlong Avenue. I have a question about the card. And reference to what I think you had said a little while ago, you gave me, and I think some of the people in the back, the impression that this has already been approved budget-wise. Is that correct?
The ambulance district has been approved and formed. The charges for the benefit assessment role are under consideration. See,
All right, maybe my analogy is incorrect, but putting the cart before the horse, so to speak. We have a town that's 64 square miles in size, as you're aware of, all right? Where is the ambulance corps, whichever one you pick, gonna be stationed? How are we gonna have substations? Is there a blueprint for this? Have you thought about having a blueprint to put out to look at, to make for everybody else who's gonna have their taxes raised, even though it's just a small amount, before you go ahead and do this? Is there a plan that you could look at? You build a house, you have a blueprint. Is there a blueprint for this? Eric, can you answer that for me?
Yeah, so before any of this, we put out an RFP. And in that RFP, we described the town's needs and the residents' assessments in their needs, as well as one of the specific things that we put in there is that whoever gets the contract to be the ambulance system in the town has to be stationed in the town and it has to have a location in the town servicing all the residents. Also has to be X number of trucks and they have to be employment of that ambulance system.
But I understand that, but do you see my point that because of our size, we just can't have one centrally located ambulance corps, let's call it, or EMS program or whatever. We have to have several, even if we just have 3, to meet the people who live by Manzas, to the people who are out on the Reinhardt Road, and then the people who are right here in the heart of our town. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that in that this is, and Rick, this is obviously an initial proposal.
Okay, right, I understand.
And so we're just giving birth to this. And so let's say next year we realize that, to your point, that we do need a substation over here and we need another substation over there to better serve the residents. We're not there yet. This is an introduction to the system and bringing it in. It probably wouldn't be advantageous to just go ahead and do that without knowing where those needs are, where the calls are, and then not knowing what the cost would be for that, because obviously that would call for another building, another ambulance substation and all that, just like the firehouses where they just started in a small little spot and then they spread out to different firehouses. So it's definitely a consideration moving forward in the future.
So are the taxes for this going to be collected first? Or are we going to see the blueprint in the expansion of the services and then the taxes collected to meet those needs?
The blueprint is already done, the RFP is already done. And that went out and we have some bids that came in, and once we pick an ambulance corps, we'll have conversation with them as to what are the needs of the town. You just brought something up and we'll have that discussion with them.
Okay, thank you.
You know.
Just want to add to that real fast, if I could. So that has been a concern of mine as well, that this is not gonna, in the future, just be one location. If you look at the numbers from response time in certain areas of the town, like along 211, you've got a 4.5 minute response time, which is fantastic. But then when you get out, the Fair Oaks area, you're looking at 10.5 minutes. So definitely in the future, we'd like to, have whoever does get the bid and move forward, have something out in that area as well to get that time frame down to the 4.5 minutes as well. So, but like Eric said, we're just giving birth to this at the moment, so.
And just to know, currently, we only have a volunteer ambulance system. Partly volunteer. And so they only have one location. And as of January, we would probably more than likely lose even those people that are there. So this is going to help us maintain an ambulance system. Hopefully, once we get through reviewing the RFP, we get to choose who will be the system that will be supporting the town, and then we can move forward from there.
How you doing?
Hi, Doug Allen. 2 questions. Since you already have the blueprint and you already have RFPs out there, how many crews are in the RFPs that you're expecting to see come back? Okay. And what is the cost that you're seeing that's going to be laid onto the taxpayers for this particular project? Lastly, how much of those taxes are going to be split between residential and commercial?
So the blueprint is based on the RFP. And the tax is gonna be, it's based on your assessed value of your home. Right now, it's $2.08, I believe. So whatever your assessed value is, it's times $2.08. Naturally, commercial property, which is bigger, will have a bigger cost.
So there is gonna be a split between the commercial and the residential.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
And how many crews are coming back in the RFPs, or is that something you put out in the request that went out? How many crews do you expect to have for a 24/7 project there?
Exactly, that's what we put in there, and then whenever we choose someone, we'll negotiate with whoever we choose to make sure they have coverage for the town at all times.
All right, so you don't know how many crews are in the
They,
plan yet?
in the RFPs that came in, there are different, conditions that they put out, where they're gonna have 2 crews, 1 crew, 3 crews, and where it's gonna cost.
Depending on the time,
Yeah, the time of day.
the time of day, but in the request, it has been that it will be 24/7.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone on Zoom? Okay, make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Please take further notice that a public hearing is being held by the town board of the town of Walthall on October 23rd, 2025 at 7:25 p.m. at Walthall Town Hall, 99 Taylor Drive, Middletown, New York, with respect to the proposed change in the rates for water and sewer usage for properties within and outside the boundaries of the town's water and sewer districts for the calendar year 2026 as follows. Water in district currently $3.05 per thousand. The proposed rate is $3.10 per thousand. Water out of district, $6.10 per thousand. Proposed rate, $6.20 per thousand. Sewer in district, $3.25 per thousand, $3.30 is the proposed rate. Sewer out of district, $6.50 per thousand. The proposed rate is $6.60 per thousand. Construction or temporary water is $30 per thousand. Any resident of town of Walthall is entitled to be heard concerning the proposed rate increases at such public hearing. The town of Walthall make every effort to ensure the hearing is accessible to persons with disabilities. Anyone requiring special assistance and or reasonable accommodation should contact the town clerk. By order of the town board of the town of Walthall, Louise M. Bassi, town clerk.
And the public hearing notice was posted and published in accordance with law with the proposed rates within the notice.
Thank you. Anyone in the audience? Anyone on Zoom?
Mr. Supervisor, do you want to just have Commissioner Gully chime in on the rates?
Yes.
Just real briefly.
Good evening, everybody. So as part of the master plan that was put in place 8-9 years ago for the water and sewer, the idea was that we're going to be constantly upgrading our infrastructure, and part of funding for that is maintaining about a nickel increase on your water and sewer rates. So relative to the adjacent municipality, Middletown, that the supervisor mentioned, I'll just reference last year's numbers. They were a combined water sewer rate of about $18.50, and we were $6.50. So like was mentioned, we could hold Middletown to their number right now and continue our expected raise for the next 10 years and wouldn't even touch them. The reason why we do this is it allows us so we can do the projects that we talked about, like was on the supervisor's presentation. We made upgrades to the water sewer plant. We are doing the well field expansions. We're going to do some generator upgrades. These are all things that just over the course of time, we maintain it, but things get old and they need to be replaced. So this small increase helps us to be able to pay for all that. And, you know, as far as the grants are concerned, the grants are great. We have an application in for EFC right now for $7.9 million. 2 caveats to that. Most of the grants are not 100%, so we get a portion back. EFC is 25%. And we also have to have that money to spend it because every single grant, I don't want to say every, but 99.9% of grants are reimbursable. So we have to have the money to spend it. So this is just part of our master plan of being able to maintain our infrastructure and provide residents who take it, water and sewer. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
So years ago, we started looking at our neighbors in the amount of money that they had to spend for unplanned projects. Let's say, and this is specifically for water and sewer and unplanned projects, you don't predict what may happen, the upgrades, as the commissioner mentioned. And so we put in a plan in place in the master plan that we will create a continuous, a nickel increase every year for those unplanned projects that may come up, unplanned improvements to our water and sewer systems that support our residents. And this way it doesn't impact our residents when we have to do those projects. So this is very good planning. As mentioned before, we can increase this and continue increasing this a nickel every year. And in 10 years, we would still be less than what our neighbors in Middletown pay as of today. So for everyone's information, thank you.
One thing to consider, our water and sewer infrastructure is dated back into the 80s. So if you think of anything that's operating for 30 or 40 years, it's time for some upgrades because things wear out. Plus, the technology is much different from 40 years ago as far as treatment. One thing we just looked like, we recently redid our press for disposal of our sludge or waste, right? And that's paid for by the ton. So the press that we put in is much more efficient and takes out more water. Water weighs 8.3 pounds per gallon, right? So if you take out a couple of thousand gallons of water every truckload, it's just a significant savings in the disposal of just the sludge. So that's just one small upgrade that we had to do, but it costs a significant amount of money. And the way we can afford that without hammering taxpayers and bonding a lot of money, with stuff like this. Again, you heard the mention of Middletown's rates. I just looked it up. Their water is $10.66 per 1,000 gallons, where we're $3.10. Their sewer is $7.60 per 1,000 gallons, and we're $6.20. So basically, they're $18.26, and we're $9.30. So we're half of what Middletown is now. So even if we doubled our rates, we would be equal where they are. So a nickel every year is not, a nickel and a nickel, 10 cents total is not really going to make the difference for us to ever catch them. And again, this is planning that we need to do because our infrastructure is, it is old and dated. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone in the audience? Anyone on Zoom? Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we have a presentation. So we look at our parks, we look at what's going on in the world, and people are vaping, smoking, cannabis is legal now. And I was approached by Ms. Lockman from the Community Engagement Coordinator for it's called Power Against Tobacco with the American Lung Association. And we're going to have a presentation by some youths who have been involved with this program. With my goal is to create smoke-free zones everywhere in the town, especially public parks, buildings, anywhere that the public gets together. There's nothing worse than being there and having to sit there and smell someone smoking. So without further ado, I will have them come up. Come on up.
Larry.
Thank you.
Do I speak here?
Yes, but you want to tell about the sweat to know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's
Larry.
I
got it.
Great to have you here.
Yeah.
Hold on, one people there.
Let me turn this around for you.
Yeah.
Everybody go.
Okay.
It's not her first rodeo.
Yeah. Good evening. Thank you for having us here. I am Leilani Lockett. I work for Power Against Tobacco. We are a grant-funded program through the New York State Department of Health Bureau of Tobacco Control Program. And we work for American Lung Association. Power stands for Putnam, Orange, Westchester, and Rockland counties, which are the counties that we serve. But it is a New York State program, and what we do is we try to create smoke and vape-free spaces, particularly where young people are. So we approached the board, we spoke with everyone here, and we talked about the benefits of adding vaping to the current no smoking policy in the parks, playgrounds, recreational spaces, and municipally owned buildings. I have some signs here. These are gonna be complimentary for the town to be placed in parks and playgrounds. I live kind of across town in Middletown, and we worked with Middletown and the town of Crawford on a similar policy. And I am the mom in the park that's like, you can't smoke here, you can't vape here. So it's very dear to me. I don't want to speak too long because we have some amazing young people who have been educated and trained and are very well versed on the benefits of this type of policy and how it affects themselves, their peers, what they're seeing. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Elaine, who works with these amazing young people.
Hi, everyone. My name is Elaine Eistoffel. I'm Program Director for Tri-County Prevention Coalition. We're a drug-free community coalition. We're based in Pine Bush, but we encompass the entire Pine Bush School District geographically, so town of Walk Hill fits into that. And I just wanted to first say thank you to the town of Walk Hill for always supporting our efforts and to helping our kids drug-free, alcohol-free, and smoke-free, right? So the reason we're here tonight is I run a youth coalition, two of them actually, one based in Pine Bush High School and one in Harmony Christian School. And we have taken the time to educate the kids about smoking and vaping and the effects that it has on their bodies and their brains. And we're here tonight to just give you a little bit of information that you may or may not know. And I'm gonna turn it over to them because they're the real ones, right? So we're gonna give it to them.
Hello, my name is Sakina Larson, and I'm the president of Tri-County Partnership in Pine Bush High School. And I just want to make sure that everyone knows that while secondhand smoke is the biggest danger of smoking around young kids in parks, it's also important to look at the danger of the influence that you're setting for the kids. When they see you smoking, they're going to think it's okay. And as someone who grew up around a lot of adults smoking in my life, I used my experience to advocate for the youth, but I've seen some other people not do the same thing. So it's important to remember that when you're smoking, you're not just harming yourself, you're harming your youth. And as the adults of our community, it's important to remember that you are setting the example for the next generation that's coming after you. So smoking in public places is such a bad example to set for the youth. So it's important to remember that when you're doing these things, it's not just harming yourself, everyone around you, and you're setting a bad example. Thank you.
Hello, my name is CJ and I am a part of the Tri-County Youth Prevention Club. And today I'm talking a little bit about the normalization and the effects of vaping in public places. Public places include schools, like towns, parks, all of that. And I see it firsthand every single day of my life when I go to school. Not only that, and it's when I'm walking down the street and most of all in parks, I see parents with their kids and even sometimes the kids smoking. And I think that is terrible for our community. And here are some of the effects. The vapings, like the little cartridges, have over 7,000 chemicals, and they are scientifically classified as biomedical waste. And so this is covered by the many flavors that are targeted not only to adults but also to kids. This makes it extremely normal for almost everyone to get into vaping, and this is horrible, especially as McKenna said, the secondhand smoke is very bad for the kids. As kids who have smaller lungs, they inhale over 50% more toxins in their lungs of that biomedical waste. And for that, the increase of kids who are getting asthma and breathing problems is a tragic issue in our community today. Even with kids with parents that both do not smoke, they are still increasing in asthma cases. And for that is because of the public places that are very smoke allowed. Thank you.
name is Noah Gonzalez. I'm 9 years old. I go to Harmony Christian School. Today, I want to show my concern about secondhand smoking and tobacco littering. Secondhand smoking is considered child abuse. Secondhand smoking can, as you know, affect your breathing. And cause asthma or worsen asthma symptom. There is no safe amount of secondhand smoke. Along with secondhand smoking comes tobacco littering. 30 to 40% of the world is covered in tobacco litter. Tobacco litter can pollute our water tables and destroy our natural habitat. It can even make animals like our pets sick. If you can prevent secondhand smoke and limit littering, please do so. That is why I am here tonight. I chose to honor the community I serve in. How can we keep the next generation healthy if we have no clean or safe place to live in?
The people are truly amazing. Thank you for coming out tonight. I know it's late, it's a school night. I just wanted to wrap up by saying, we've done a lot of community events. We were at last year's Walk Hill Community Day. We did this year's National Night Out. We educated young people in the parks and playgrounds, and you might have seen us there. I might have asked you to sign in support. So these are the posters that we use to share information and educate the community, and we got a lot of signatures. A lot of them are from young people who see it every day and agree that vaping should also be banned in parks and playgrounds. And we look forward to further educating the community and supporting the community in this initiative. That's it. Thank you so much. Thank you for having us this evening. And please reach out to us for any information that you need.
Yeah, so in November, we'll be having a public hearing where we're going to look to adapt some addition to the town's no smoking code, and hopefully have these signs all around the town, public places and parks. Okay. Thank you for coming out tonight, ladies. Gentlemen, thank you. Next, we got public participation on agenda items only. Anyone come up, 3 minutes? State your name. Anyone on Zoom? Okay, we'll move on to correspondence. Any correspondence, Madam Clerk? That being said, move on to resolutions.
Resolution of Town Board of the Town of Walkville approving the benefit assessment roll for the year 2026. Now therefore be it hereby resolved that 1, the Town Board hereby approves the benefit assessment roll for the year 2026 presently in file in the office of the town clerk, and 2, that the town clerk is hereby directed to forward said benefit assessment roll to the office of the town assessor without amendment or modification. The motion?
So move.
Second.
Mr. Coyne?
Yes.
Mr. Valentin?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Vanilla?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
Supervisor Serrano?
Yes.
Resolution of Town Board of the Town of Walkville approving the town water and sewer rates for the fiscal year 2026. Resolved that as of January 1, 2026, the following water and sewer usage rates the properties within and outside the boundaries of the town's water and sewer district shall take effect. Water in district, $3.10 per thousand. Water out of district, $6.20 per thousand. Sewer in district, $3.30 per thousand. Sewer out of district, $6.60 per thousand gallons. Resolved that the Commissioner of Public Works is hereby directed to notify all appropriate town personnel and officials that the aforesaid rates shall go into effect as of January 1st, 2026 for billing and notification purposes, and further resolve the town clerk is hereby authorized and directed to cause public notice of said rate increases to be given as provided by law. May I have a motion?
So move.
Mr. Coyne?
Yes.
Mr. Valentin?
Yes.
Mr. Vanilla?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Supervisor Serrano?
Yes,
That's all I have, sir.
thank you. Next, we have Councilman Collins, we'll start with Councilman Cohen.
Okay, let's start with highway. Highway Department has finished our road paving for the year. We just finished up paving Connors Road last week, and we'll be putting shoulders on it over the next few weeks. Currently doing some small drainage jobs that we were unable to do while we were paving. We have a team out crack sealing roads as needed that have been paved over the last 5 years. This is something that the commissioner, along with the highway supervisor, has adopted this philosophy of maintaining our roads before they get in bad shape. So pave the road, maintain the road, maybe, it's gonna last a lot longer than 10 years or so, and then, it needs to be done, the whole thing needs to be done again. So a little bit of maintenance today goes a long way. We'll begin to, we will begin our winter prep on our trucks and equipment starting next week. This will include putting headgear on all the large dump trucks, which allow them to install the wing and plow. We'll be going through all the small trucks and sanders to ensure everything is working properly and that they're ready for the winter. We'll also be cleaning and servicing our paving equipment and winterizing any equipment that holds water. We began leaf pickup on the week of, we will begin leaf pickup on the week of November 10th. Please remember, when you're making your leaf pile, no sticks. The sticks will clog up the machine and slow down the process. That is if you're in the water and sewer district. You can drag the leaves out to the edge of the road and we come by with the big vacuum and suck them up. If you want to bag your leaves, please use the what is it? I lost my place. Oh, the recycling bags. You can get those in Lowe's or Home Depot. Give us a call, 845-361-1106. Let us know how many bags you have that need to be picked up, and we'll get over there and pick them up. So, as far as Veterans Affairs, so we've got Veterans Day coming up. That is November 11th, and there are 2 ceremonies taking place in town. We have Post 1181. We'll be holding theirs at the Elks Club. Been there for a number of years now. It's a great ceremony. Great speakers, from what I understand. It's Lou. Lou is going to be the guest speaker, the main speaker. If you've ever heard Lou speak, he's fantastic. And also Post 151 will be holding a ceremony at their venue over there on Way on Avenue. Now, these ceremonies start at 11 o'clock in the morning. Easy way to remember that, 11/11 at 11. November 11th at 11 o'clock. I hope you can attend either one. It's a great day. Remember, it's Veterans Day. It's not a somber day. This is where you get to see all your friends and neighbors and whatnot, and give them a handshake and thank you for your service type of thing. It's their day. It's not Memorial Day where it's somber. But yeah, if you could make one of those, that would be great. Comments? Not much. All I can say is that Election Day is less than 2 weeks away. please get out and vote, vote early. Early voting starts Saturday, if that fits your schedule. You know, if you think that the person representing you is doing a good job, get out and vote for them. If you think they're not, get out and vote against them. Either way, vote. We talk about Veterans Day and Memorial Day, and you know what? It's our obligation to get out and vote. So that's what they fought and died for, and those who were lucky enough not to pass, you know, the veterans, that's what they fought for. So please get out and vote, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Barrington?
Thank you, Supervisor. I'll start with our Parks Department. The Circleville Rail Trail Fence project has been completed. Impact net design for golf balls. Impact has been installed. The fence is designed to protect walkers from golf balls from our neighboring golf course. Park Supervisor Mike Nye would like to thank the Highway Department employee RJ Carson for trimming the trees to allow this fence to be installed. RJ did a fantastic job and on a timely manner. Circleville Park is undergoing an entrance renovation. A new security guard shack was delivered today. The structure was installed on a brand new concrete slab, which was poured by the park staff. The perimeter of the grounds were covered with fresh stone, topsoil for a fresh, welcoming look. The guard shack will be placed for the public to check in with our guards for park info, their pavilion bookings, etc. New park roof signage has been installed clear for direction to our guests. Trees have been removed and other trimmed to allow more sunlight into the entrance. A few park staff are working daily to remove leaves from our 39 properties that we oversee weekly. A brand new handicap accessible dock for the lake at Circleville Park has been installed. And the new dock will be handicap accessible and will feature a short, robust railings. The installation of the dock is a large project that involves much labor and a new concrete mount for the shoreline. For our police, the department currently has 54 full-time sworn police officers. Our current arrest record as of September 2025, arrests were 844. And our parking summons has been down from down 32% from 2024 as well, due to shortage of staff illness. Moving violations during the first 9 months of 2025, we issued 5,511 summonses were issued for moving violations. Staffing this week, 2 new officers, Sebastian DeCosti and Corey Compton, graduated the Orange County Police Academy. Both officers are going to be welcome and be a welcome addition to the department. Our Police Community Council on October 22nd, the chief and members of the Police Community Council met with the residents at Oak Ridge Manor Apartments concerning a formation of the neighborhood block watch. The next Police Community Council meeting will be held 7 p.m. on Thursday, November 6th, and will be held at the Community Center on West Warren Drive. Our guest speaker will be John Dooley, right there. The Police Youth Coalition, the next Police Youth Coalition meeting is scheduled for 7 p.m. on November 18th and will be held at the Community Center. Some things, our next event for the town will be Monday, October 27th, and that is our trunk or treat. If you haven't seen it on the site, there's things going around. It's Monday, October 27th from 4 to 6 p.m. And it's right here in the parking lot at Town Hall. Everyone is welcome. Music, candy, fun for the entire family. Bring your costume. If you're interested in having a trunk, just notify the supervisor's office so we can make arrangements to space you. One thing I like to mention along with Halloween, of course, every year we have a curfew that we implement and we enforce. So as of October 30th, 31st, and November 1st of each year, the curfew shall be from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. In the event The Halloween shall occur on a Sunday. The curfew also includes the Friday prior to there. And the curfew is for any child under 17 years of 17 years of age to remain in or upon public street, highway, town walking between these hours of 7 PM and 6 AM. Stay off the roads. And it will be enforced, and so our police will be patrolling the areas to ensure the curfew is enforced. The only thing I want to mention, along with, as Councilman Coyne mentioned, our leaf pickup. Every year we have a leaf pickup, of course. One thing is, I like to remind the residents, it's a leaf pickup. Put your leaves on the edge of your property, not on the road. I see people that they don't want to ruin their grass. Grass grows back. It's just leaves. What happens is you put it on the road and it becomes a danger and a liability to those drivers that either have to avoid it or have to drive through it. So the rule is leaf pickup, but the leaves should be put on the edge of your properties. And the other thing is people get frustrated. We will have a calendar scheduled for all the wards as to when the leaf pickup is expected. It's a draft because of weather. So if the weather is good, we stay with the schedule. If it's not, it pushes the schedule back. And as we've always said, folks, it's just leaves. So they will get picked up eventually, but just keep in mind, if it's rainy or we've had snow, it does delay the pickup, but it will eventually get picked up. And again, please place them on the edge of your property, not on the road. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Demello.
Good evening, everyone. Start off with Town of Wallkill Golf Course is open. And if you're a duffer, come in and get a couple rounds in before it starts snowing. Enjoy the weather, get some fresh air in your lungs. Halloween is next Friday, so if you're out driving, keep a sharp eye out for trick-or-treaters. As my colleagues have said here, we have a trunk or treat this coming Monday, correct?
Yes.
This Monday?
Yes.
Thank you. Switching up a little bit, this is still October, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I just want to say I have a heartfelt loss to those who have lost to the fight and to the families. And for those who may be fighting, your courage and fortitude is truly recognized, and our prayers are with you to overcome this. For those who have beaten this, we acknowledge your win over cancer. Lastly, Election Day is November 4th, with early voting starting this Saturday on the 25th. And that's at Middletown Senior Center at 62-80 West Main Street. Everybody have a great weekend.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Johnson.
Thank you, Supervisor. I'll start with the building department. So for the month of September, 204 permits, certificates issued were 107. Total fees collected $88,024. Addressed 31 complaints and carried out 1,043 inspections. For the assessor's report for October, all property owners must be registered with the New York State Department of Taxation and Finance. If you're not registered, to check your registration status, you can call them at 518-457-2036. All school district tax bills have been mailed. If you didn't receive yours, you should contact your tax receiver as soon as possible. Obviously, they're due very shortly at the end of the month. Star credit checks have also been issued by the New York State Department of Taxation and Finance. If you have not received those or are not sure that you're registered, you can contact them again at the same number, 518-457-2036. The assessor is actively negotiating small claims assessment review on residential cases, and various certiorari cases are being negotiated and settled in the town's attorney at the time. The assessor's department is currently preparing 2026 renewal exemption mailings for the following programs: low-income senior citizens, agricultural, disability with limited income, non-for-profit organizations, clergy, volunteer firefighters, and ambulance workers. All renewal exemption applications will be mailed out by late November through early December. Our town also offers some additional exemptions, including alternative veterans, Cold War veterans, disabled veterans, commercial and industrial businesses, farm building exemptions. If you believe you may qualify for any of these, please contact the assessor's office for details. The deadline for submission is March 1st, 2026. The town continues to experience significant residential and commercial building growth. This reflects a strong active real estate market for our town. Property sales remain steady and residential developments continue at a stable pace. Please note the assessor's office is actively conducting property inspections for parcels with open building permits, recent sales, or properties that are under review. These inspections are separate from the building department inspections, and if no one is home at the time of the inspection, a door hanger will be left. If you ever have any questions or need assistance, you can contact Lisa Laspanera, our town assessor, at 845-692-7810 during regular business hours. The water and sewer, as always, we had some service and main leaks that need to be repaired, and our guys and gals do a great job in that department. The town-wide fire hydrant flushing that everybody loves so much will end this Sunday, the 26th. If you do experience any discolored water, it should clear up quickly and is still safe to use. You heard me mention before, the water levels in our wells are still on the low side. I know we've had water use or unnecessary water use, please do so. There's no mandatory restrictions, but we do rely on wells for our water. They are shallow, so they are affected by the amount of rainfall that we receive. If you've driven around and looked at any ponds, you see that the water is down, 4 or 5 feet from the level it should be. The same thing is happening in the ground. So the contractor for National Metering Service is in the process of upgrading the water meters. They're still doing the commercial side where the residential yet to be determined. However, you will receive notification directly from them, a postcard where you can schedule an appointment to have your meter done. If you have any questions about that, you can reach out to the water department office anytime. It's 845-342-1668. The Tower Drive water tank rehabilitation project is wrapping up, the one right down here, as well as the Braeside water well rehabilitation. Again, you've heard me mention the total trihalomethanes and haloacetic acids that were issues in our water before are now fixed. Those are chlorination byproduct issues. So if you have any organics that mix with the chlorination that you use to disinfect your water, it makes those byproducts. So we had issues with them, and not real bad. They were just barely above the the limit of like 80 parts per billion. So we had some that were slightly above. That's why those letters went out. But we've had that fixed. We've corrected it. We've done multiple tanks, the water storage tanks, because organics like leaves and such do accumulate in them. So we have to drain them, clean them, sandblast them, weld them, fill them back up, and that takes care of that problem. So both of those are very good for water users as far as not having issues. The contractor for the lift SCADA system is starting soon. As you heard me mention before, this is a system that will allow for remote control of monitoring for our wastewater pump stations throughout the town. And as always, both departments run 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So a great job by all those employees to make that happen. For comments, obviously Halloween, wishing everybody happy and safe Halloween. The trunk or treat, as you heard mentioned, is Monday the 27th from 4 to 6 here in the back parking lot. Veterans Day, November 11th. The two ceremonies that you heard Councilman Coyne mention are also, very well attended and very decent, I guess, positive ceremonies, unlike on Memorial Day where it's somber. And normally I do the one at the Elks every year, but this year I'm going to switch it up and go to the 151 ceremony at 185 Wayland Avenue. And they both start at 11, so hopefully you guys can come out for that because you heard everybody mention that voting is important. It is one of the most patriotic things you can do, folks. So please make sure you get out and do that. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilman. So today, in honor of breast cancer awareness, I want to thank all the town employees who wore pink today. And as you can see in the room here today, we had a little ceremony, a little celebration of honoring, breast cancer awareness. We took some pictures and they wore pink. And also in honor, breast cancer, DPW every Friday wear pink shirts in their honor. And, we have to be aware of things that, breast cancer is out there and do more research. Seniors, so every seniors, they have a senior group that meets on Thursday at the community center, 12 o'clock. If you're gonna go, please go, introduce yourself and try to get there before they start playing bingo. They don't like to be interrupted once they start their bingo. So, congratulations to all the, trust me, I go there and I start talking, they kick me out because no, we gotta play our bingo, so. Congratulations to everyone who we honored tonight, the Girl Scouts and Alfonso Pizza, it's great to see that, as a town, we need to recognize these individuals in the town, whether they help us and small businesses. I want to thank everyone for coming out. Our trunk or treat is on Monday, and if anyone is interested, please contact my office, and we will have a contest of the best dress trunk, 1, 2, and 3. We have DJ. I'm trying to convince everyone up here to see who's gonna come dressed to the trunk or treat. I will be dressed, my staff will be dressed. I'm not telling you we're gonna be dressed, but I hope that, yeah, okay. Hopefully they'll come dressed. I mean, it's always fun to see people dressed up. It's always been good. It's right behind us, 4 to 6. Hopefully that can come. And then, I want to just mention on November 29th, we will be having a holiday parade starting by Orange Bank and Trust up Walk Hill Winning Way. And we'll have a ceremony, a parade, we'll have some dancers from one of our dance groups in town. So looking forward to that. So we just, on October 15th, we just finished honoring Hispanic Heritage Month. So you can see we have the flags here, and goes back to what we have in our town, and people who've been in this town for many years understand that the town has grown and become very diverse. So it's great to see that us celebrating the different cultures that we have here in town. That's what this country is based on. But I'm done. That's what.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention and congratulate again my good friend Alfonso for his 40 years of his business being in the town of Walk Hill. And I knew his parents, his mother, his father, and again, congratulations and much more success in your business. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Supervisor, just for everybody's information, the board last night at the work session, they changed, as we do every year, the regular meetings for November and December were each moved up a week because of the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays. So the November regular meeting of the board will be Thursday, November 20th, instead of the 27th, the third Thursday at 7:30. And in December, it will be on December 18th at 7:30. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. Town clerk, comments?
I may have to come as a DPW employee because somehow I ended up with one of those wonderful pink T-shirts. So I didn't wear it today because I didn't want anybody to feel left out. Somehow I ended up with shirts. Quick thank you to Jeannie. Jeannie is our HR person here, and she takes care of putting on these things, and it was a lovely thing this afternoon. Of course, I was looking for a pink lady cocktail, but no one told me that, they didn't know how to make those, but we did find out that it is gin and grenadine, so we covered on that next year. Time is flying, it's already October, and I've been notified by the Boys and Girls Club that the Giving Tree ornaments will be coming out soon. And they told me that last year they provided 617 holiday gifts for children throughout the town of Walk, and I believe there were some from their Sullivan County program as well. So, and I know that Mrs. Coyne is usually my first person to grab some ornaments, so that's coming forward. I've had a couple conversations with Teresa regarding the stray cats, and I would love nothing better than to be part of a conversation to start a trap and release program. You can call me a cat lady, you can call me whatever you want, but I know some folks that do. those
Even a
programs.
crazy cat lady, you can call us, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it. I'm working on it. I've been here 40 years, it's pretty close. I would love to be part of that conversation. I do know some folks that handle programs like that. Like she said, we do have the space certificates that are $25, through Terra, which is right down the road.
But I wonder, can we get a meeting and a joint effort with Pets Alive, Humane Society, and
And
the-
it is a problem. I've seen it firsthand, these colonies of cats that are everywhere. And unfortunately, a lot of times we see them on the side of the road. But there are people out there who are pretty sure would be willing to help us and to partner with us and get one of these programs started, because like, Teresa, I'm sorry, I didn't pronounce your last name right. But, she's been in a few times, and it really is a sad situation where she lives. That actually she is uncomfortable in her home because of what's going on in her neighborhood. So like I said, I really would like to be part of the conversation. If it happens this year or if it happens early next year, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Commissioner?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. So two things I want to touch on that were mentioned before. The dock at Circleville, the ADA accessible dock, it's been delivered, not installed yet. Probably next week, I'm gonna find myself over at the park. And myself and the parks guys will figure out how we're gonna connect it, because we gotta build a concrete seawall, for lack of a better term. And then the crack seal, so this is I believe it's the first year that we're doing that in-house. Typically, we put that out to bid and had a contractor come in and do it. And to be honest, it's just inefficient to have somebody else come and do it. On OGS state contract, you can rent the machine and you can buy the materials and they bring it to you. So for the past week and a half, it's what a crew of the highway guys have been doing, is going out and crack sealing. They're just more efficient. Once they learned how to use the machine, we're able to select where we really want the tar to go, so we're not being wasteful. And in the end, we just get more bang for our buck. Then to go back to parks, so I'll give the update for out front of the town hall. We put on the capstones, filled in the beds with topsoil. We're going to be putting in the decorative stone and the plants in the springtime. The stone might come a little early, but the plants at this point, we're heading into winter. It doesn't make sense to start planting new things. So we will wait. The parks guys went through and repainted the front of the parking lot lines. Back will come soon. Like Mr. Valentin brought up, the security shed was delivered today. I was there and it's beautiful. So even if you just want to go drive through Circleville Park, go take a look. We tried to model it after the national park colors. So it's a deep, rich green, cedar trim, and a brown roof. And it looks really nice. The site amenities, the benches, the tables, everything I've been talking about for the past couple months, those will be getting delivered at the end of this month. And we're going to try to get as much of that in as we can before deep frost comes. And at that point, we'll stop digging and we'll focus on, winter maintenance on all of our equipment, getting it ready. And as far as highways concerned, like Mr. Coyne brought up, paving's done. I want to say a big thank you to all of the guys on the highway crew for the paving they did this year. It was hot and we dealt with a lot of rain in the beginning of the summer, which of course we ended up milling roads, and then it rained every single day and we couldn't get out there. But I inadvertently found myself on the paving crew in dress clothes one day for 9 hours. And I can tell you, just after one day, the work that those guys do every single day during the summertime it's hard. And so thank you for what they do. Real quick on the leaves. So we're gonna put out a tentative schedule on where we're gonna go. But as everyone knows, leaves blow around. So if we don't get to you before your leaves start blowing around, just understand we will eventually get there. It's like the supervisor said, it's dependent on the weather, but it's also dependent on how many people in front of you put out their leaves. So if the people in front of you didn't put out a lot of leaves, then we'll get to you quick. It's kind of a moving target for us. And lastly, water and sewer. I don't really have anything specific to say other than they just, every time they killed it. They're nonstop working. Just today I was out, they had a small leak on patio. The day before, they were on Inwood. They do a great job at identifying when we have these kind of breaks and getting out there and getting it fixed as quick as they can. So thank you to them. And that's it.
Thank you. One thing I want to add that during the week when we were, when they were doing the digging in the front, Parks Department, we buried a time capsule in the front. We put a lot of stuff in there and the objective is to open it in 50 years. So I won't be around. Maybe I will, who knows? But we did bury it and we put a lot of things in there that hopefully someday they'll look back and see us and say, "Whoa, those guys were okay." So we'll see. But I just wanted to add that. Chief?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. So in attendance with me tonight is Lieutenant Dan Ward. Dan was promoted several months ago. Prior to being promoted to lieutenant, excuse me, he was a sergeant with our department. And we recruited Dan from the NYPD and their officers are named. Dan proved himself to be a model officer. He's working his way through the ranks. Now there's 2 lieutenants in the department, restructuring with respect to collateral duties to the lieutenants. And in the past, Lieutenant McElmore has filled in for me occasionally. So now I have a second lieutenant and make it a few more meetings or have somebody stand up for me. I'll just send their notice to the town
We're
board.
always like you at the meeting.
I believe you do find me entertaining, it's fine. Thank you. But Dan's doing a great job, great asset to the department. And I'm sure he's gonna be a great asset to the department going forward. With respect to the upcoming police community council meeting, John Dooley's our guest speaker. You know, there's a lot of projects going on in town. Just drive down to 11 with all the construction and the road being ripped up. And this is a segment of the community that attends the police community council meeting that may not necessarily tune into this meeting. So this will give them an opportunity to ask questions. I know in the past, when Commissioner Rossi attended, there was always a lot of questions about projects that are going on in the town. I don't have the answer for it. The community council certainly doesn't have the answer for it. And we're certainly the commission is going to provide great insight into those issues. So we look forward to John attending next month. As Eric mentioned, we were meeting with the new Block Watch group at Oak Ridge Manor, Brian Davis, our police community council presidents here this evening. We had a great meeting with them recently, and they're going to be forming a Block Watch group. They have quality of life issues there. We're working with them to resolve those issues. The management company's been very cooperative in helping resolve these issues, so we look forward to a great partnership going forward, and we'll be here to support that group. With respect to the Halloween curfew, Councilman Valentine mentioned, so historically, more than a few years ago, probably about 5 years ago, we would see a significant number of incidents, especially on Halloween Eve, criminal mischief. It was so bad 10 years ago that we would have to go out to all the stores with letters asking them not to sell eggs and shaving cream to youth 3 or 4 days leading up to Halloween because there was so much criminal mischief in the town. Things have changed. A lot of youth are doing it on Roblox now, I guess, because they're not doing it in person, but we're still going to have an extended amount, or I'm sorry, additional amount of officers on Halloween Eve and Halloween in plain clothes, in uniform. As Councilman Valentine mentioned, 0 tolerance. If youth are engaged in criminal mischief, it's going to be unacceptable, and we'll enforce the curfew and have youth brought home that evening to prevent further incidents. The supervisor talked about the virtual reality in his budget presentation. So we've had a couple of different sessions. One, we trained all the members of our department, and as a supervisor can attest to, it's very reality based. We've had other elected officials, we've had members of the community, we've had members of the press. So this upcoming Wednesday, we have another session. There's no more response field, but it's going to be our department partnering with our mobile response team. Our mobile response team is full-time clinicians that work in our department, and they respond to supplement police calls when there's a mental health issue involved. And they're practitioners, and they have the ability to help us convey the essential services to members of our community when necessary. So we want to cross-train this team because they're with us all the time, and we want them to understand what situations as a supervisor, witness, and you know, from your previous employment, what we deal with on a regular basis. So it's going to be exceptionally good training to bring in a group of citizens that we work with on a regular basis. So the training's coming Wednesday. I'll be happy to follow up with a report to the town on that. 2 police officers graduated the police academy today. Wonderful young officers, Sebastian DeGusto and Corey Compton. Officer DeGusto won 4 of the 6 awards given out at the academy today. It became a joke that I kept getting up to give him an award after award. Great 2 young officers, but one of them, as I said, was DeGusto, looking forward to what he's going to be doing with us going forward. And the presentation tonight, compliments on that to the supervisor and town board. I actually went out and met with them and probably was others line, but I invited them potentially to a community council meeting in the future. Those young people are great, talking about issues that are facing our community. That word has to get out there because there's serious health risks associated with both those issues, vaping, smoking, obviously. And I think the members of our community council appreciate the presentation. And we've worked with Tri-County Community Partnership for years. Eileen's a big supporter of ours, and Sal Lucido, our vice president, is the president of the Tri-County Community Partnership right now. So we have that working relationship existing. And lastly, in reference to the cat issue, I empathize with you. But our role under the Department of Ag and Markets in New York State is limited to domestic animals. So feral cats, our animal control officer handles domestic animals only, he doesn't handle wild animals. And quite frankly, since ATO Costa has been on board and the town was funded for, a new shelter, it's been a full house. There's a serious issue, not just us, but statewide. We're taking these animals in on a regular basis, and there's no or unavailable spots, no kill shelters anywhere. We've had to bring animals 2-3 counties away on some occasions, ability to sacrifice these animals long term. And we're not geared towards that. These are temporary shelters approved by the state. And we've had cases where the shelters here in our department have been filled for weeks on end. So we're facing challenges with respect to domesticated animals. So it's very understand and empathize with you with the feral animals. We'll do anything we can to help you.
Still considered domesticated animals.
We don't have facilities to keep them here unless they're domestic animals.
Trap neuter release, TNR, the trap neuter release.
I don't disagree with you. That's
So,
absolutely.
because you get it back.
Bless you.
I don't disagree, so, but we have to explore that and meet, come up with a plan and get, we're an accredited agency, it's one of the state regulations. We implement a policy that's new, it has to meet state standards, so things like this, we haven't,
We also.
we haven't done this before, so we have to make sure our policy comply with state standards, but also investigate on that. I do empathize with you. Thank you.
Thank you. And to add to that virtual reality, when I went through it, the chief and I back in our lives, and also Councilman Vanilla, I guess if you look at what it's now, we did it the old school way. It was a big screen, and that's how you did training. It's the FAT system, it's called. Virtual reality is actually excellent. One of the first things that I wanted to do when I went through with the chief is, how can we increase it? Get some more of the goggles so that more officers, more people go through it. Whether you are 2 officers, the mobile unit, or someone could be just a bystander, things of that nature. It's real training and it's really good. Okay, next we got public participation. Bless you. 3 minutes. Anything you want to speak to us about?
Hi, Joan Wolf, 3rd Ward. I live near the racetrack. But on a positive note, I want to thank the town for giving us notifications when roads are closed, when there are accidents. Can you hear me?
Is it on?
There's a green light. Push the button.
Oh, now it's on.
There you go.
I'll start again. Joan Wolf from the 3rd Ward. All the notifications that we get when the roads are closed, like this afternoon, I got one about Silver Lake, Scotchtown. I'm glad I did because I had gone out there in the morning and it was backed up. In the afternoon, I knew enough not to go. So, and especially living near the racetrack, when we get notifications of big races like this weekend, it really helps the residents to know what's going on. And secondly, I want to say what a great job everybody's done at Circle Hill Park. Love the dog park. But I think there needs to be more notification because there aren't many dogs that I see there. My dog was the only one who wants company. And as far as the rail trail, I think it's wonderful, but I have a question. Is there ever any security on that? Does anybody ever from the park ever drive out there to make sure it's safe?
On the weekend, right?
And if not, I would like to ask that they would, because it's really sort of desolate when you're walking by yourself, you know.
So we have our part-time security, they're theirs, Friday from about 3:30 in the afternoon till a little after sundown. We've been kind of keeping them a little later as we get closer to Halloween. And then full-time Saturday and Sunday. They make their rounds around the park. I can double check to see if they take a run down to the rail trail just to make sure that it's clear.
So what you're saying is then we really shouldn't walk by ourselves during the week?
Well,
I mean, it's.
Can I say something real fast? John, that was a mode railroad bed, right?
Yeah.
So it was used for walking
Right,
for years. What we did was pave it so that you could, ride your bike. Mom could take the stroller down there. So I mean, we haven't had any issues, in the past.
no,
It has
it's
been
not being used as much like during the week, so I just wonder if, somebody from the park would use their vehicle and just kind of drive on occasion to make sure everything's.
I guess it's something we could look into,
Yeah.
the golf cart, shoot
Yeah.
down, shoot back.
Yeah, I mean, I
Okay.
don't wanna have
You
park
know.
guys driving a pickup truck.
No,
right.
While people are trying to use
Right.
it, but yeah,
Like a golf cart driving down, just on occasion.
yeah.
You see cars, I guess I would say, if you see cars parked there, then maybe it would be, advantageous to do that. But the park is wonderful, and again, being notified of whatever's happening in the town that we should be aware of is, does that emanate from you people?
Yes,
Yeah, and are all the residents in the town receiving those notifications, or how does that work?
Only those that sign up
I'm
for
a
it.
hyper reach.
Can you also, like on your website, let people know that they could sign up?
I believe we do have that.
Yeah, it's on
We do
there.
It's
have
on
that
the,
on
it's
website.
if you go into the town's website,
Okay.
there is a spot where you can sign in for those residents that have not signed in. And they get those notifications if there's a water main break, if there is something going on with the roads, they don't get bombarded with messages. But you get those messages that impact your
I
travel.
love getting them, so thank you very much.
You're welcome. Can I just suggest if anyone hasn't signed up and you plan to sign up, they ask you to put an address, use 99 Tower Drive. Because this program that we use is geofencing. So it go, when we send a notification out, it hits a certain area.
Yeah.
And say if you on the other, say you somewhere else, you won't get the notification if you put your home address and it doesn't affect your home address. So if you put 99 Tower Drive, you get every notification.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone on Zoom? Anyone in the audience?
Hi, Teresa Fletcher again. I was here, you probably remember at the July meeting, talking about the cats. We did cover a couple of things just now, I guess. It's just so difficult. Like you said, everybody's full, everybody's over capacity. The only, sort of assistance that or advice that I got was from your animal control officer who said, if there are any property trapped, then call somebody. I mean, I've reached out to so many Pets Alive in Walden Humane, Middletown Humane, Rocky's Rescue, Helpers with Heart, Mid Hudson Animal Alliance, Dump Strays, everybody's full, everybody's over capacity. Since that meeting, I have gotten 5 more kittens off the street. Spayed, neutered, vaccinated, 2 into homes, 3 into foster, another one neutered and I just put him back out, and there's another cat on my property, just had 2 kittens. I mean, I have cats of my own, I have, her cats are just everywhere, they're just everywhere. They're in my yard, they're sleeping on my lawn furniture, I don't care, they're cats, they're pets, I have pets. You come in my garden, you poop, you leave, whatever, that doesn't bother me. The fighting with my cats, the vet bills that I can't afford, they're sitting under my bird feeders, they're skin and bones, they don't have enough food to eat. They're reproducing, they're sick, they're not vaccinated, it's not good for people either. And suffering is just something I can't stand, I can't live with it anymore, I just go to bed sad and I wake up sad. It's too much. And I don't know if I need to see you separately in order to send somebody over to talk to these people again. I don't know, but thank you for speaking up, please, and I hope that this town can do something, even if it's just, you know, I don't know if you want it to be volunteers, but even a small paid staff to do trout release and just a small facility where they can recover 24 or 48 hours and then be put back out in their colonies. If people want to feed them, fine. If they don't, fine. At least they're not reproducing, and it's just, it's a really bad situation. I think I gave you guys the numbers at the last meeting, 10,000 pets every day, but to sleep every day, 10,000 pets every day, but to sleep. So, yeah, okay, I think that was everything. Oh, yeah, and, my cat was at the vet 2 days ago, another $200 because he got bit and turned into an abscess from one of her cats in my yard, because they're not new, her cats are not neutered. So they're wandering everywhere looking for, you know, girlfriends. So hopefully something can come of that.
Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you, guys.
My name is Peter Daney. I live on Holly Hill Lane. I'm a resident. I like to revisit the Wallkill ambulance plan with, I need to have a little clarity. About a year ago, I needed some ambulance help at my house. It was a non-emergency basis, so I called the police department, thought a policeman could help me get my wife off of the floor. And they said, no, you have to call 911. So I called 911, wasn't an emergency, but the town of Wallkill over on Maltese Drive responded within about 5 minutes. It was great. And I asked, is this a part of a volunteer? No, we are an independent ambulance corps. And I was billed $1,800. Insurance picked up most of it, I paid $200. So what you're proposing, is that an overlay of what? Of what is now in existence, or going to be working together? I'm a little confused about that.
So in the two bids that we got multiple ways of how that's gonna happen.
Right.
And one of them is whether they're gonna bill or not bill, depending on the two, without getting too much into the RFPs that we received. They have two different type of programs.
Okay.
One is that one company might take the billing and take the contract with the town. Another one has different types of billing, no billing is what they're gonna provide. For the most part, I believe they're going to be billing. We're not gonna be in charge of any billing. With our concerns, make sure that we always have an ambulance here in the town of Wallkill, so that if something like that's happening, someone is there.
Right, now, so just clarify my own situation. So the ambulance operation on Maltese Drive is independent of the town?
Yes.
But it's an operator that works under some sort of a contract with the town?
Right now, there is no
No,
contract.
there's no contract.
They used to be volunteers, now they're
Okay,
not.
but they are employees,
Of them, yes. Of
right, of the town of Wallkill.
EMS.
No,
No, so
No.
let me.
Yeah.
They are not town employees.
Okay,
At the moment, that town of Wallkill EMS, even though they're called town of
Right.
Wallkill EMS, they are an independent nonprofit.
okay,
They are not employees. We don't run the service.
okay, all right, that explains.
So, right, so what's happening, if I may?
Yes, absolutely.
Please.
The town board voted to create an ambulance district,
Okay,
and it is a taxing district. It's, each home is gonna be
Right.
taxed 208 per
$1,000.
thousand assessed value, whatever.
Right.
The district right now is run by the town board. There are two options at this point. First option is the town could have hired its own personnel,
Right,
could have gone out and bought vehicles and created space, got a new building,
Sure.
all of that. Option two is what we did is put out a request for proposals from different ambulance services
okay,
to contract with the newly formed district.
Right, okay,
So we put out what's called an RFP, a request for proposals. So far, and the deadline's passed, 2 different ambulance companies have responded. One of them is Town of Walk Hill EMS,
okay,
and the other one is Empress.
right,
The town board, the next step in this is the town board is gonna evaluate those 2 proposals.
sure,
Presumably, possibly conduct some further interviews with both of those companies to see how the billing structure is gonna work and all of that. And some of the funding they need, very expensive to have ambulance
Yeah.
services, millions of dollars.
right,
A lot of it they get through billing, through insurance and other methods. And part of it is gonna be supplemented by the district funds that are gonna be taxed. So we're looking at how that's gonna impact billing, if it's gonna bring costs down, bring costs up a little bit. So these things are part of the town's job in the next couple of months before the new year to get into contract with one of
no,
those
I
2.
understand that,
So that's how it's going.
all right, so thank you very much. That
welcome,
clears
sir.
it up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Can I just pick up where you left off?
Go ahead.
Go?
No,
Okay, I want to pick up where you left off. Deborah Garin. According to the RFP, what are the triggers in which you will reject some of these bids? And when did the RFP close? Is it still publicly available?
No, you cannot, they closed, I think was October 15th.
So you only had 2 bids in October.
That's all that came in.
That's all that came
That's
in.
all that
It
came
was,
in.
it was out, the RFP was out, I believe, sometime in August.
August, yes.
I think it went out in August, and we got 2 responses.
Okay, is there a potential for you to reject the 2 bidders that came in because they just don't meet your needs?
When the town puts out a request for proposals, there is always the option to reject the bids and start again.
Mhm.
But we haven't,
Under what conditions?
if the town doesn't believe that either proposal is in the best interest of the district.
Okay, and that's within the board alone that makes that decision?
That's correct.
And you won't put it out
Put out what?
to the town, to the residents?
There's no public hearing to evaluate proposals, no. That's the job of the town board.
So if you decide to move forward and it's insufficient or extremely expensive, our taxes go up anyway and you bind that deal. Is that correct?
Yeah, the presumption right now is a 1-year contract. And what will happen, just to answer your question.
Mhm.
What will happen is it's an ongoing process and it'll be evaluated. Going through 2026 to make sure that it's working and it's functional. If it's not, there'll be a new proposal reflected.
If nothing, if there is no action, the town will be left with 0 ambulance services for the residents as of January 2026. When we looked at the proposals and we looked at, I'm not gonna say worst case scenario, but as far as your question, as far as the impact in taxes, it's averaging about $114 a year per household for that district. But we're trying to leave no stone unturned in addressing every need of the service that the residents need. It's a huge undertaking. The RFPs that came back are very big, and so we're looking at them in detail.
So it's not a huge
There was time for several agencies. We didn't say that we only needed 2. We didn't say we needed 3. We put out the RFPs like any other RFP.
Exactly.
In this county, only 2 agencies submitted to service the town.
And be located within the town.
And be located within the town.
Which is critical. We need a
So one
provider.
is the incumbent and then there's a second part.
There is no.
Didn't you say the town is currently not contracted?
They don't have a contract with
The
anyone.
gentleman who had the ambulance visit his house?
There is no,
Question? Yeah, and then please address the board. We're not having a back.
So
Go ahead, Supervisor.
what you're saying is, there is a Town of Walk Hill EMS in the town, they're here, but they're not contracted by the town right now. They do have some calls.
So if these 2 bids fail or are insufficient to meet the needs, then we would have the status quo. We wouldn't be without anyone, it would continue as it is.
No.
No, what fails?
I think what's happening is that the town of Walk Hill EMS right now is struggling. Okay?
Okay, can I
This is-
hear from Mr. Valentin,
Yeah.
please? You were gonna answer that?
So, no, it wouldn't, we wouldn't go on as status quo. As the supervisor was about to say, that independent agency that currently services the town is struggling. And so as of January, what they've calculated based on their funds and everything else, that they will not be able to service the town as of January. And we're not alone in this. It's an epidemic across the county where residents need ambulance services and the ambulance just can't function the way they are. There's in their billing, they may not get enough money based on Medicare, Medicaid to provide the services that they need to and sustain themselves. So that's the whole purpose in creating the district, to hopefully, if God forbid you need an ambulance, you have an ambulance system in the town. It's unfortunate that we only got 2 agencies to bid for that potential contract. But you know, if you look at the county, other municipalities are going through it and trying to figure it out. And we've had meetings with the county to address these things. And so this is where we are today.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we can move forward with an absence of comparison because we're really concerned with ourselves, right? So whether or not the city of Middletown does that, whether or not somebody in another part of the county has an issue, for the purposes of this discussion, come January 1st, if you fail to select one of those 2 bidders, we have absolutely no ambulance service.
Well, somebody will always come in when the phone call comes in, right? But they may be coming from Chester or Monroe, Sullivan County, you know, so what you're looking at is, you know, it's an emergency, right? We'll get there in a half hour. Or boom, 5 minutes, 6 minutes later, they're walking through your front door.
Based on what the tall gentleman, I think his name was Mr. Brown, who came up initially, his question was, where will it be situated within the county?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things that are more than 6 minutes away from where I live, which is on a road that has no power, no street lights, no sewage, no, we don't have anything.
Yeah.
So to get to this particular rural part,
So as of right now, the longest response time, I believe, is about 2.5 minutes today, right? We certainly want that number to go down, and over time, I don't know how soon, is it gonna be, you know, next week, is it gonna be 6 years from now? I don't know. But the ideal situation would be to have something, again, who was it brought up the firehouse? Was that you, Eric?
Yeah.
Right? Where the response time can be, you know, like that. So, but again, we're just starting this and you gotta start somewhere. If it happens to be that the organization that calls themselves the Town of Wallkill Ambulance Corps gets the contract, they are on Maltese Drive, right? So if you live in Scotchtown, Mechanicstown, you're gonna get that 4.5 minute response. If you're up 17M, up in the Fair Oaks area, I brought it up earlier, it's gonna be a 10-minute response time, right? I would love to see something up there, you know, a substation up there, a unit up there. So that, you know, when the calls come in for that area, now it's 4 minutes because you've got an ambulance coming off 17M or thereabouts, but.
At the end of the day, I believe the town is being very proactive in addressing the needs of our residents. We have a tremendous amount of senior complexes that live in the town and need these services. So we need to be proactive in taking this this thing to build an ambulance system that services the town as Councilman Coyne stated. If we don't have it, you're not looking at 10 minutes, you're not looking at 5 minutes, you're looking at half an hour of response from Chester, Goshen, or even Monroe.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Anybody else? Sorry.
Yes, then Don Bennett, live in this, Walk Hill. I was just trying to do a quick follow-up for listening, did that include a fee? Would there be a fee if you use that service within the county, within the Walk Hill area?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Like if the ambulance you're all just mentioning, and
Well, they'll-
yeah,
depending on which bid we accept, like I said, there was different ways what they were gonna do, not bid, they will always charge the insurance. What the district does is charges you on your taxes based on your assessed value of your home. And that's gonna be on your tax, and that's, make sure, what?
For business.
What?
For business.
Of business.
yeah,
And that's we're trying to make sure, being proactive, trying to make sure that they always is an ambulance here in the town of Walk Hill, or flight car, what it's called, that they have it here. That's the main purpose of this, to make sure it's good to have and not need, or to need and not have. That's what I always say.
okay, I have a question as far as the water and sewage, you mentioned a fee and everything. Is there one for the commercial business too, that the
Yes.
commercial,
Yes.
is that the same rate that they're gonna be paying?
It's double.
It's double?
Yes.
Okay, and the third thing that I'm picking up is the increase that the town board and supervisors, everyone get. Is that a COLA, is that prorated, is there
For
benefits?
what?
These increases that you all got, is there based on?
Salaries?
Yeah, is that based on what? Is there a,
Everyone but myself got a 3% raise.
okay,
Everyone who's elected and appointed by the town got a 3% raise, except me, I didn't get a raise.
and does that raise include perks, benefits, or the straight
As
up?
a
across the
town
board?
employee, you do get benefits, yes.
Okay.
As a town employee, yes.
And that is also on the web, you could see what that is
It's
and
a-
everything.
Elected and appointed, their benefits is based on the handbook. And then we have unions who have collective bargaining, and that's how their benefits is based on.
Thanks, Lee.
You're welcome.
Good evening. My name's Adam Thorns. I live over on Wisner Avenue.
Get a little closer there.
Sorry.
In here.
One question to
In
yourself,
here.
Mr. Frank.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned two companies that put in bids. One was Tovax. The second one you said was Empress.
I believe so. yeah.
Okay, okay. First question was, who would be the dispatch? I guess I should mention, I'm a former EMT for multiple states in the United States, so I have a little bit of understanding to this. Who becomes the dispatcher? Is it Orange County 911?
I believe that's the,
Okay.
yes,
That's how it is now.
yes. That's not gonna change, yes.
Yeah, that's not gonna change.
Okay. It struck me a little strange that and you definitely provided a little more information about that tonight. Where the main hospital for most of this part of Orange County is in the town of Walk Hill. So it strikes me as slightly strange that none of the companies, other than those two, would put in bids because they're all coming here. I don't know what was maybe part of the bid. The other part of the idea with the dispatch is, most EMS companies will tell you, part of the calls they hate are basically taxi services. And that goes back to the dispatch. If you're getting someone who's calling, who's basically just getting a ride to the hospital or to whatever service, that's gonna take away from people who need an actual emergency service. So that again goes back to the dispatch side of it. The other question was, if whoever it is given this bid, do they then become the exclusive person for the town of Walk Hill? Because just as an example, 2 blocks from our house, there is a third ambulance company based right at the fairgrounds. That ambulance, I think it's called. That's why I was asking I just couldn't understand what you had said. So it would strike me as strange that they wouldn't put in a bid and they're already based in the town of Walk Hill. So I just was curious.
That was their choice not to put it there.
Okay,
It was publicly announced, it was on the website, it was
So whoever.
There were opportunities for whatever ambulance companies to submit a bid, yes.
Okay, so whoever wins that, would they be then like extensively the exclusive provider for the town of Walk Hill area?
They would be the contracted provider, but that doesn't exclude mutual aid. If, let's say, all of the town of Walk Hill and or whoever the contracted entity was out, if all of their vehicles were out and mutual aid was needed, then 911 in the county would take care of it.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So one of the things that I found interesting, Adam, is that when we were asking why only two, and we reached out to some of the services, they said they didn't want to add to their load. They were already so busy. I don't know if the one that you mentioned was talked to, but the other ones that were spoken to, they were just, they've had their full load and they just didn't want to take on another municipality.
Anyone else?
Yes, Jim Moore. Last time I talked about the finances and I got the 2022 annual financial review. Okay, didn't like what I seen in there, but I also noticed there was three, at the very end of the report, there's three, corrective actions that had to be taken. I didn't see that in the report, the management response to it. We have that for the town?
Manager response.
Yeah, because there's three corrective actions to be taken. One was on the resolving the budget on a timely basis. The other one's on the number of accounts that are open. And there was one on the reporting on the water and sewage funds. Okay, that should have been addressed, right?
It isn't being addressed right now.
Oh, no, but you do put a plan for it, that's part of the audit process. Okay, that wasn't included on the report, so I can ask for a copy of that, right?
Okay, no problem.
Okay, I mean, we have that, okay. And then I guess I'm gonna ask about 23 and 24, is any word on?
They're working on it and hopefully 23 will be done sooner than later and 24 will come right after that and then 25.
Okay, well, 25, we have 4 months after the close of that, so that'll be into next year, that's okay. But the first corrective action was about, they couldn't finish the audit until 2025. And this is the 2022 books were not closed until this year. Okay, I asked about that last time too. Do we have the 2023 and 2024 books closed now?
They're not.
They're not, okay, so they're still.
They're
open.
working on
Okay,
it,
yeah,
yes.
so I did ask that, I said they were.
They're working on them.
Okay, okay,
That's what I
okay,
said.
okay, and having them open, it's hard to say we have a good budget if we don't know our full numbers all the time. Okay, and that's why I asked for the, the spreadsheet, because it's hard to look through the printout and stuff and compare things, see which things are excessive. And then, and be able to address them in a short amount of time, middle of November. The other problem too is with the corrective actions, the number of accounts that are open. Do we have a count of how many accounts we still have open?
We are working on closing the accounts.
Yeah.
I'm working with the accounting department and the banks on closing accounts.
Okay,
Yes.
and then it goes back to my original question from last time. What are the auditors doing? Do we have a work? Do we have a statement of work for them and deliverables and a timeline?
Yes, they're working on, we got the vendor, as you're aware, we have a consultant working there.
Yeah.
And we also have RBT involved.
Yeah.
So they are working on it, and as soon as we can get them closed, they will be closed.
Okay, because we have 4 accounting entities that have looked at our books. The state, which we can't talk to anymore, our current accounting that's working on the annual financial reporting. We have a consultant in, and also another audit company too. But it seems like a lot, and it's a lot of money we're spending. Okay, I noticed in next year's budget, we have another 150,000 additional appropriated for audit. And this is not really audit, this is actually consulting. So I think the line item might not actually be appropriate. That's under, okay,
Thank you.
okay.
Appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
Anyone else? I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I make a motion to adjourn. All in favor?